All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I'm going to talk about how to build a sales team or just bring on a sales guy for your digital marketing agency or consulting business, all right? So my goal in this video is to help you understand what it takes to systemize sales as an entire process, okay? Because sales should be, it's first of all, not only the most important element in your entire business when it comes to just purely generating revenue, but it is probably the most fun thing to systemize and build processes outside of yourself. Because ultimately, once you build a sales system that works outside of you, it's almost like planting your tree by a stream of water. It's like, whether or not your offers are really that good yet, you will be forced to make them good if you want to stay in business. It's like the first thing you should knock out is really getting good at sales and be comfortable scaling that process. I'm not saying sell something that stinks, but I am saying that scaling your sales process is going to help you with almost every single other element in your business, because now revenue is no longer a problem. Client attraction is no longer a problem. So I'm going to teach you how to bring on a sales guy, which is probably the title of this video, because I feel like that will get more clicks. But really, I'm going to show you how to systemize your entire sales process. So I'm just going to blast through this. I'm going to reference some of the training that we are building into our 7-figure marketing consultant program. We've got a 6-figure marketing consultant program and then our 7-figure marketing consultant program based on where you're at and based on your needs. A lot of people succeed with the first tier program and then rise to the second. And I'm just going to kind of reference some of the material in that program here. So when it comes to scaling a sales team, let me just break down what I'm doing in my business as a whole so you can kind of see the different moving pieces, okay? So the first thing is I'm probably just going to reference the fact that my goal is that everybody should run ads to acquire clients. And my cost per acquisition on a client is about, I'd say, anywhere from $1,200 to $1,800 depending on what it is that we're selling. It can go higher, rarely does it. And you'd think that's a lot for acquiring a client, but if you're selling them, what we sell like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 packages to our clients. They're paying us monthly retainers of $2,000 to $5,000 a month. You can see how that's a really nice green investment. So we're just going to run an ad to a funnel, and I explain this funnel in more detail in other videos or even inside of our programs. But really, it's just designed to get people to click, indoctrinate them, show them what we could do, and get them to schedule a call, right? And this is where, again, your sales team comes in. So that's really what this video is about, is who handles those calls and how do you scale that. So we're running ads down a funnel to get people to schedule a call. So what next? How do we scale that process? So what I want to teach you is just the basics of bringing on a sales guy and also getting good at sales yourself if you're at a stage where you want to understand sales yourself. So a couple principles when it comes to sales. You're not selling, you are diagnosing. So you actually look for where they're at in their business, what's wrong in their business or their life or their situation or whatever it is. You figure out where they are, where they want to get, and then you position your offer as the bridge that will get them there. So that way they're not spending money to buy your thing, they're spending money to take the next step in their journey. This is a concept that I learned from a book called Story, I think Donald Miller, and it says make your clients or your customers the heroes of your story or the heroes of your business. You're not selling them what you have, you're selling them the next step in their journey. And when you get to that point in your agency or in your consulting business or whatever, it's a lot easier for you to scale something really cool because people aren't just buying some crap from you, they're buying the next step in their journey. And that's how you can start to charge these crazy rates, is when people see it as a big investment into their future, and it really is. You don't sell on features, you sell on results. You don't sell on what's included, you sell on what it could do for them. And when you get to that point, so that's the first principle. The second principle is that you really aren't. I guess I'll just speak to that. You're not selling results, or you're selling results, not features. So we're not selling features, we're selling results. R, not F. And so once you get good at those two concepts, and once you get good at positioning your offer as a results offer and something that can bring a lot of value to somebody's life and business, not just what's included in your offer, that's when once you've done at least, I'd say you need to do at least 100 calls yourself before you bring on a team. I've done probably 800, 900 at this point, coming up on 1,000 at least. I've done any less than that. I actually counted about 3 months ago, and at that time I had done 600, and I've done probably 2 or 3 a day every single day since, and so it really stacks really quick. So have done at least 100 sales calls, whether it's ads or it's organic content, it doesn't matter to me. As long as you are getting them to schedule a call, they could be sent down the funnel or just go straight to scheduling a call. I don't care. Your goal is to generate sales calls for your business. And this is what I teach in the six-figure marketing consultant, is these organic methods to get these calls, okay? So when it comes to building a team, there's a couple things that you want. First of all, you want to start with just one person, and what you want is to do at least 20 calls over the shoulder. Have them watch you do 20 calls, whether they're in the room with you or they just watch recordings of those calls and you give them sort of notes as to what went wrong or what went right. Give them your next 20 calls, not just 20 good calls or 20 bad calls. Give them your next 20 calls so they just see a very average, what it looks like on average. You want to say the bar is that you do at least 10% better than me. You want them to do better than you, ultimately. You want them to be better at this process than you. So that way you're getting them to be creative on how they pitch, how they position, and how they sell your offer. All right? So you want to say, look, I am a 30%, 35%, 40% closer when it comes to my offer. I would love to see you breach my level and get better at this than me. And some of the ways that they can do that is simply because they have more time margin, which means they can do better follow-up. They can follow up with clients a lot easier than you can because you probably don't have the time for that. You are doing all these other things in your business. They can build those relationships more with the client. They can spend time with them. One of the things that I literally am doing right now is I'm saying, hey, if we like a client, we want to invest in them. If they like video games, dude, play video games with them. Freaking buy them dinner. I want you to develop those relationships. Another thing is tracking. It's really hard for me to spend time in a spreadsheet, tracking every little, so I give them a template for a spreadsheet, tracking names, how much they owe, when they owe it, if they owe it at all, what their commission is as a salesperson, which we're paying them, we'll pay them anywhere from 10%, about 30%, depending on what they sell. And the variables here is it's 10% if it's a lower ticket offer, and it's a lead that I generated from one of these two sources. But I also give my sales guy creativity to generate their own leads with their own methods. So one of the things that he's doing actually right now and that we're working on building is he's going to build a LinkedIn process for our agency and even our education business as well, and help me generate leads over there. If he generates his own leads and sells them on our services or products, dude, that's a 30% commission easy. If you were controlling the sales process, go for it. So you want to give them that creativity. So that's a really big element in building a high quality sales team is person one, set the bar high, get them to be creative, get them to invest into your business. And I wouldn't even pay them any bottom line. I wouldn't even if they're asking for some bottom line revenue monthly, dip them. They need to get a piece of what they kill for you, not some guaranteed bottom line crap. So you give them only commission. They're commission only salespeople. Don't give them bottom line. So you can see how this starts to get really creative. So then he can build his own organic and his own paid ad processes. I've told him, hey man, if you prove an process with your own money from the commission that we're paying you, I'll give you $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 if it really starts to scale, so that we can fill your calendar with that process. I'll happily pay for that. And then I'll pay you even more commission. Am I losing less margin? Sure. But it's margin that wouldn't exist otherwise, so I'm not worried about that, okay? So that is how you begin to build a sales team. This is just some of the basics when it comes to building a sales team. There's a lot more that goes into this in terms of training. You want them on, a good, rigorous book reading routine. Have them reading some of your favorite books as the business owner. Get them thinking like you, because you really don't just want them to be salespeople. You want them to be the people that bring people into the program. And if they can control this whole process, dude, that's like a CMO right there. That is not a salesperson. That is somebody that you can bring on as a partner, somebody to really help you run this thing. So that's the beauty of having a sales team, is there's so much creativity there. The other thing too is you want to understand that before you even bring on a sales guy, you should already have a full calendar of sales. So again, for me, it's 2 or 3 a day. Right now, today, I have 6. After this video, which is why I'm kind of rushing this video, I have 6 back-to-back sales calls. Some for the agency, some for the education. Right? I have 6 just today. And so my goal is that in July, I'm giving my guy at least, that's uppercase L, in July, I'm giving my guy at least 10 sales calls, right? Just so that he can begin to practice. And I'm telling you all this as I'm implementing it into my business. So this is kind of just like a beginning of my thought process. I've thought this through very thoroughly and gotten some help from some really smart people before I've done this. And this is what they recommend that I do. And you just want to fill their calendar. It shouldn't be their job to fill the calendar with methods and get creative, but you want to leave the door open for them to and financially incentivize it with higher commission. I hope that makes sense. So have people on board that sell for you. You want to develop your script. You want to have done at least 100 calls, and you want to be tracking what is and isn't working when you're on those calls. You want to diagnose, not sell. You want to sell on results, not features. You want to record your calls. Do them over Zoom, or install, there's certain apps for your phone if you're doing phone calls where you can record those calls and store them maybe in Google Drive or something like that. And just note the ones that succeed and don't succeed, and kind of divide that number so you know what your closing margin is. So if you know that you are a 15% closer, you want a sales guy to be at least a 25% closer. They must be at least 10% better than you, or at least as good as you. You don't want any drop off. There's this idea that if you bring on a sales guy that they're going to do worse than you naturally. That's just not true. That is just not true. They have a huge advantage against you, and that's time. They have way more time than you, and they've got way more commitment to this than you, because they see the opportunity here. For you, it's just one peg in a machine. For them, it is the machine. If you can get them obsessed with it, then you will have built an asset that will just pay massive dividends for you. And like for my sales team, my appointment setting team, the people that are on my team, like I do things for them. Like I bought them Oura rings. I'm going to do down payments on their cars. I'm going to just help them and serve them and pour into them, help them buy them courses, buy them books, and just really develop those relationships and build a team that I'm proud to lead and proud to be served or to serve amongst. And that's when you can get something really cool. So you want to have ads filling a funnel, or organic marketing methods that are filling a funnel, or just go straight to a call. Fill your calendar. You want to be doing at least 2 or 3 a day before you bring on a sales guy, in my opinion. You don't need this, but in my opinion, until you've done that, you almost don't know how to train them. Until you've done, it doesn't need to be 2 or 3 a day. You just need to have done at least 100 sales calls and know, like what it takes to make a sale and what it takes to break a sale. Like what's the variables involved, and what does your team or your sales guy need to know and need to understand in order to get the best results for you and your company. So that is how to build a sales team or a sales floor, or whatever you want to call it, bring on a sales guy. That is everything that I know, and that's what I'll be implementing into my business in this next stage. My goal again is to get my company to 7 figures yearly, $1 million a year profit, and this is a big piece of that pie. And if you want more videos like this one, feel free to comment any ideas or comment any of your thoughts. I'm very active in the comments. Feel free to follow on Instagram if you want more like day-to-day. I share a lot of stuff on my story, what's going on in my business. You get to recommend YouTube ideas, stuff like that. This actually came from a Instagram recommendation. And as well, if you are excited about growing your business or you want any help, feel free to book a free one-to-one consult in the description, where you can actually speak with myself or a highly trained team member, hint, about getting help growing what you've got going on, whether you're an agency owner or a consultant, whatever it is, will help you scale that way up. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.